Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This week we got a really nice surprise because we got some brand new DLC for TMNT Shredder's Revenge. And I've got to tell you, this came right out of left field. No one was expecting this, and not only that, it shadow dropped. So it was announced on Tuesday, came out the same day. I bought it in the evening, and you know what? I thought that today what we would do is I would try out the two new characters because yes, this DLC gives us two new characters, Mona Lisa and Mondo Gecko. And both these characters are actually really fun, but I've got to tell you, I've got a sweet spot for Mondo Gecko among the two. So I'm really excited to try him out, see what his kit is like, and maybe this video is going to help you get an idea if it's worth picking up the DLC on your end. Now, what I plan on doing is playing through the first 3 levels of the game with each one of the characters. Why? Because those first 3 levels, although they're the easiest, they also give us a pretty good idea of how the characters are going to play out. But that's not all we got in the DLC, because on top of it, there is also a new remix to the soundtrack. So I will be playing with the remixed soundtrack today. I loved the original soundtrack for this game. I'm really excited to see what they did with these remixes. From what I can hear on the demo of it, it seems like it's a much more chiptune oriented music than what we got in the first release of the game. Either way, I'm super excited. Hopefully you guys are going to like the video. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, if you do end up liking this video. But now let's jump in and try out these new characters. Okay, so now let's jump into an arcade mode. We're going to take the OK difficulty because the point today is to have some fun with these characters. No need to put it on the hardest mode, but I don't want it to be too easy either. Let's take the OK mode. And you know what? When friends come over, this is most likely what I play most often as well. Now, right here, we can already see 2 characters. The 2 new characters are available, and they actually have the same stats. So we have 2 stars for range, 1 star for speed, and 3 stars for power. So they seem to be setting them up like powerhouse characters, a lot of damage, but maybe less mobility. You know what? I think we're going to start with Mona Lisa. I said my favorite is Mondo Gecko, so let's keep the best to last. Let's choose Mona Lisa. Oh, and we actually do have different colors right away unlocked for her. We're going to take the standard colors for today, just a question of trying out these characters. So let's jump in. We're going to skip all the story stuff. It is not really needed here. And let's see what these characters have to offer. So we've got Shredder attacking Station 6, and let's go and test her out. So basic combos seem pretty straightforward. We took a little hit there. Now we're going to try to make sure that we can get some special moves here, because I do want to test out her kit. And actually, before we fight anyone else, let's test out the basic moves here. So we've got her upwards kick. Okay, into a dive kick. Pretty good. Double jump into... Oh, so she's throwing like test tubes when we do the double jump into the dropping attack. Other than that, dive attack seems pretty normal, and run move, okay, pretty standard. So now let's get testing these special moves here. So first, let's try the... Oh, that's pretty nice. So that's the dodge to special attack. It is actually pretty decent, I would say. A lot of them on the characters are not very powerful for those. That one seemed to be have a pretty wide attack range. Now we're going to try the dropping special attack. We're going to leave her normal one for last. So when we get a chance here, we're going to try her Oh, that's actually pretty interesting as well. So it's not just a dropping attack. It drops her into a spin, and then she can sort of keep attacking the characters. So now I'm actually pretty interested to see what her normal special attack is, which we'll be testing in a couple of seconds. I just want it to be worth it. We're going to drop it right here when the 4 guys appear. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. So she drops like a bunch of like chemicals on people, and it actually seems to have a pretty decent range. I'm going to test it out a couple of more times to final verdicts. But yeah, pretty decent range. damage seems a little low though, because we didn't even clear the foot soldier that got hit with like one of them. So we're going to keep testing it, but so far actually pretty impressed with the kit. She's fun to use, and honestly she doesn't feel that slow. If you use the dodge attacks and the different move sets that you have available to you, I would say she feels pretty good. I'm gonna leave my final verdict though till we like finish level 3 with her, and I'll give you guys like a full breakdown of what I think of her at that point. Because right now we're still really early. We haven't had much of a variety enemy wise. Let's just pop them out here. Oh, that was just really bad. Okay. Make sure these sword guys get eliminated quickly. Yeah, so far, honestly, controls... I mean, the kits in this game, a lot of them do have the same basic components, but I would say she's feeling to me so far like she's the closest to Splinter. So if you've played already the game and you know the different characters, I feel she's closest to Splinter. She sort of has that same feel where, yes, she is slow, but thanks to the other moves she has access to, it doesn't feel that slow. The other good thing as well, I would say, maybe about her, is that I think her special move, though, is a little better. A Splinter special move, I find it's easy to miss it. Hers feels like the range is a little better on it, actually. So let's get here, let's deal with Rocksteady, our Bebop, sorry, my bad. Our first boss. Rocksteady is the second boss. Oh, so that, yeah, she is a powerhouse character because she is doing a ton of damage here. Oh yeah, man, she hits like a truck. I mean, she really hits like a truck. Like, those special moves are pretty hardcore. Like, when you hit them straight on, she does a ton of damage. Looking forward to seeing her into level 2 and 3. The reason why I'm doing the first 3 levels, by the way, is because it actually gives a pretty good overview of the different gameplay modes. Because level 3 is actually our first chase scene or hover bike level. So I do like to go up until that level to sort of make my mind up on a character, because it gives you an aspect of basically their whole kit in, I would say, the 3 major scenarios you have throughout the game. So let's test her out now for level 2, which is another standard level. So that's actually a pretty decent combo to finish it off with the with her jump attack, because it actually works pretty darn well. It like extends your combo and you can follow it up with a heal drop. So I would say it's like a pretty basic. Especially with guys like that you know take more than one standard combo. So I'm going to focus a bit here. We're going to take these guys out. Honestly, Shredder's Revenge so far is one of those games that I've honestly never completely stopped playing it since it came out. I've got to say, at least, I would say I've never spent more than 2 weeks without, like, popping it out, either for a run or just because friends come over and we want an easy game that everyone can jump into, have some fun with. And honestly, it really takes only about one player that really knows what they're doing to get a whole run out pretty easily. Now, arcade mode does give you a limited number of lives, which is what we're playing on now. But if you're playing story mode, I mean, you can jump in with just about anyone. Oh, we're full health, so we can't even take the pizza. Should have taken some damage. So I've got to say, she's feeling really good. I'm surprised. I'm surprised because I was expecting her to feel clunkier. Oh, so I would have thought we could have gotten both food for soldiers there. Oh, why can't my run attack get him? Okay. I just didn't have enough momentum. Because normally you can just run into those motorcycle guys and it pretty much takes them out. I'm going to focus a little more, try to make sure we don't lose a life or anything. Not that it really cares because it's not a real run, but hey, we're on YouTube. I've got to try and show a minimum of skill here. Which is probably not what a not a good way to show it off right there. Either way, we've got a pizza up there so we can pretty much get back to status quo. So we're gonna knock that. Those little robots can be really annoying, especially in the later levels. So let's abuse our infinite specials here. But like I said, this is still top 3 beat-em-ups easy on the Nintendo Switch, so it's hard to go wrong with this one. By the way, I'm gonna check the price on the DLC, but it's only something like, it's like close to it's $5 to $7, so it's actually not a very expensive DLC. It's a good thing too, because I mean, the other time they came out with a DLC, they added in like a survival mode, so you can sort of get away with charging a little bit more for something like that. Hey, we haven't even tried her charge pose, like her to charge the special move. I'm like not dodging when it's appropriate. Oh, it's a long charge time though. Let's just knock him out with a special, and we're going good. But like I said, damage is very high on these characters, or this character so far. But with Mondo Gecko having the same stats, I'm sort of expecting the same type of thing here. Let's once again just breeze through the storyline here. And we're at the first chase level. So this is going to be the last level for Mona Lisa. Like I said, it gives us a well-rounded idea of how this character plays out. And for you, if it's worth picking up, and I'll confirm the price 100% before we end this video. Because honestly, I just picked it up. I didn't... I should have looked at the price. I didn't. I just picked it up. I was like, I'm getting this DLC no matter what. But I know it was like under 10 bucks for sure. Oh, we missed those. Those are like easy charges on your special moves. Ah, I always hit that one. I think we've got 3 cars at the bottom. Yeah. We're gonna super move our way out of that one because we were gonna take a hit there. honestly, that's the one thing this level, I never quite got the exact placement for hitting that truck. I still managed to deal with it pretty easily, but I never quite got the exact placement I need to not take any hits at all. Now we should have a pizza coming soon. Hopefully we're gonna be able to survive till then without losing a life. We're gonna abuse a little bit of the drop kick here. Oh, that was not the best use. There we go. I was pretty sure that pizza was coming pretty soon here. We're getting pretty close to the boss here. We've got like a few more waves of these, a few more waves of the flying foot clan. Let's actually get rid of these guys. Yeah, here. That's our last pizza, meaning that the boss is right around the corner. So let's see if I can get my placement better on this time around. I always have the problem, like I said, getting to that sweet spot angle where you're not touching the truck like this. And there we go. We've got the truck down. Okay, so my verdict for Mona Lisa so far. Honestly, I'm going to kill the sound here for a second, but really she feels a lot like Splinter. If I'm talking about which one of the current characters she feels most like, I would say she feels most like Splinter. However, with a more reliable special move. Because the one thing I don't like about Splinter is I find his special move, it's really easy to miss. Her special move seems to have a little bit more range, but less targeted damage. If you want targeted damage, you seem to have to use her dodge special move, which actually seems to do way more single target damage than any of her other special moves. And what's really funny is her jumping special move. It's really weird because it doesn't actually do the majority of its damage during the jump. It does it when she lands and she's spinning around, which I feel can be really good for a group of enemies that are all grouped together on one side of the character. So overall, fun character. She hits like a truck. Now it's time to switch over to Mondo Gecko. So let me reset things here and then we will test out Mondo Gecko. So here we are, we're back at the select character screen for, once again, I chose arcade mode, I chose OK difficulty, but this time around, however, we're going with Mondo Gecko. Once again, color selection, pretty fun. Actually, this one looks really rad. We might try this one out for the gameplay. And basically, we're going to jump right into things here. So like I said, Mondo Gecko, personally, one of my favorite TMNT characters, like side characters. Yojimbo had to be one of my top ones. We got him in the last DLC. I'm really glad we're getting Mondo Gecko this time. Honestly, out of the whole catalog of characters, there may be some others I would have liked to see. Like, I would like to have the frogs playable, Genghis and all the other frogs, but Mondo Gecko has to be, you know, on the top end. So it's actually pretty fun because he seems to be permanently on his skateboard. So let's try out his kit now before we actually get into anything. So, okay, so pretty standard. Double jump. We get the little thrusters going on his skateboard. And he swipes down. So Mona Lisa was throwing the sort of test tubes full of chemicals. He's more of a standard. He looks a lot like Donatello's or Leonardo's moves, where he's jumping down and hitting. Dodge seems pretty standard. Let's get into a little fight here because we don't have enough room to maneuver around for everything. And we'll test it out. So we already have one super move unlocked. We're gonna do the same thing like Mona Lisa. We're gonna try to dodge super move first. So let's. Oh, that's actually pretty fun. So his dodge super moves has him run across the screen. So it's more like you can actually distance yourself from the boss, the enemies, and then just like dive right back into them. Now let's try the diving one. Much more of a standard move than Mona Lisa had. So it's really contact on the dive. You dive into the character and you do a ton of damage when he lands. Oof. Wanted to test out the normal move there. Now, he does feel slower than Mona Lisa, to be totally honest. We're going to see as we get through it. So that's his dive move, by the way. So his dive move, it's rocket up, then rocket down. So I think he does most of his damage on the downward cycle. So we have a special move charged here. We're going to try his regular one. Wow. Okay. I'm liking that special move. I am liking that special move. Okay, now it's time to get a little serious. We're going to try to start playing more, test out the combos, test out how we can get things going. Wow, no, I'm really liking that special move. I think, however, his regular special move is probably way more powerful than Mona Lisa's. We're going to keep testing it as we go through, but so far, out of his whole kit, I would say that is the outlier. Oh yeah, and it does way more damage than hers. Like hers, sometimes a foot soldier would survive just getting hit with one hit. He seems to be slamming them like... These sword foot soldiers can be a pain if you don't take them out right away. And I didn't, so we're gonna have to throw them. But like I said, the one thing so far that I notice is he does seem to be a little more sluggish. So they are theoretically supposed to have the same speed, but we know that in this game, that star rating isn't exactly mean you have the same speed as someone. Because even someone with 3 stars, some hit slightly harder than others. With 1-star speed, some are still slightly faster than others. Just grab these guys. We're going to save our super move for Bebop that's coming up. Now we're going to see how fast we can take this guy out. Let's just grab the pizza up here, not take a chance. Yeah, so just like Mona Lisa, they hit like a truck. Like, he really hits like a truck too. And I would even say he maybe hits a little harder than Mona Lisa. Because Mona Lisa, we got 2 specials off on him, and I feel like I beat him almost faster than I did with Mona Lisa. Really liking Mondo Gecko for the moment. And By the way, one thing that I've learned over playing this game, the characters with higher damage generally do better towards the end of the game. In the beginning of the game, the speed characters and the damage characters do about the same. I do feel, however, when you get towards the end of the game, having higher damage is more important because the enemies get tankier. They get beefier, thicker, and having a character that does a lot of damage means you don't have to, like, you don't have to 3-cycle some of the bigger characters. Like, some of them you still have to get multiple hits in, but... Oh, yeah. I mean, that feels really good. Now, we didn't try yet his, what his little move is for charging his special attack, which we are going to try. We're just going to hit it. I like that animation. And it seems to charge maybe a little bit quicker than Mona Lisa's, actually. I haven't timed them, but the feeling is it's maybe a little quicker. Oh, dang. Messed that one up. Go. I do feel, though, that maybe the slight lack of mobility will maybe hinder him a little bit more. Which is weird that they made him slow since he's actually riding a skateboard. I would have thought they would have put him as a fast character because of that, since he's actually riding a board. That was completely useless. But same thing as Mona Lisa, you can extend your regular combo using his jump move, his jump attack. So I actually think that is probably going to be one of the best strategies with him as well. So let's get through these guys. Yeah, and his drop move seems to do a lot of damage. Honestly, I'm liking his kit as well. It's funny because I fell in the exact same sewer hole with Mona. But overall, honestly, so far, I'm impressed. I'm actually impressed that they came out with more DLC because they were so quiet since the last DLC. There is one little thing I do want to mention, though, that it's sort of, when I heard that there was more DLC, although I was super happy to be able to have more to explore about the game, there is one thing that I don't want to say mad at, but a little bit disappointed with. And we'll talk about that really quickly at the end of the video. But overall, I've got to say, I don't want to dampen it, like, I don't want to turn this, though, negative. I just do want to mention, though, that maybe if they have other DLC planned, it'd be a good thing to let collectors and whatnot know. And that's, but I'll reserve that till the end of the video. I want to focus right now on the gameplay. So let's see how fast we can knock out Rocksteady here. Now, I'm not charged. I don't have my special charged, which is a little bit annoying because I do find it's slightly hard to charge with Rocksteady because of his bombs. Yeah, that was less than excellent. should have dodged a kick there. Oof. Yeah, his dive move does a ton of damage. So we beat him pretty hard, pretty easy. Like I said, these characters really are high on the damage meters. Like, if you play this with 1-star damage characters, you'll know the difference. Like, you really don't do much damage unless you have a special, and you're almost going into the corners and charging your special till so that you can actually do, like, a ton of damage to them. So we're going to get our last level here for Mondo Gecko. Then, same thing as I did with Mona, I'm going to give you my perspective on him. I'm trying to think what character he reminds me of. I would say Casey Jones, quickly. Like, if I'm thinking of the way he moves, the way his kit is built, there are no one-for-ones, just like there wasn't for Mona. But if I had to like pinpoint one character that I feel he reminds me of, kit-wise, I would say Casey Jones. Even his specials somewhat reminds me of it, but once again, it has better range than Casey's. I actually think he might be one of the best specials overall in the game. His regular one, maybe not his dropping special, because I think that one is maybe his most lackluster of the specials. But it's true, I didn't really use the dodge special again after that. And we've got 3 on the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Ow, got flattened there. Oh, dang, I wanted to special him out. Dang. I'm always terrible, like I said, with the stupid truck. I never get the positioning right. I actually think I like his dive move more than Mona's, though. It almost feels like he homes in on the enemies, man. Ah, you see? But his dive special is definitely weaker. But he can't have everything. I mean, he probably, like I said, has the strongest. I'm trying to think of all the characters, and honestly, I can't think of a character that has a normal special that with this much range and that feels like it does this much damage. Like, the closest ones I would say are probably Casey and Donatello. Like, I'm trying to think, and I think Donatello was one of my favorite specials, with Casey probably as a close second, because because even Donatello's like pulls the enemies in though when he's doing it. But I think this guy doesn't even need it because his range is so much wider. Once again though, the jumping one is not the way to go. Okay. Let's... Oh. I thought I had time to power up the special. Oh my god. And there we go. So honestly, pretty good here as well. Let me kill the sound here while we sort of wrap this up. I'm going to wait for the next level to load and we can talk about it in the meantime. But yeah, no, super impressed. I'm really liking Mondo Gecko as well. Like I said, it just feels like he has a slightly less mobility than Mona Lisa, but feels like he has higher damage. A few of his moves have higher damage. So if we sort of wrap this up, Mona Lisa seems to have a more agile kit, but her specials are a little weaker. No, actually, her normal special is a little weaker, but her other two specials, so the jumping special and her dodge special, actually seem a little better than Mondo Gecko's. On the other hand, though, Mondo Gecko's got a really top-notch normal special with slightly weaker dodge specials and definitely a weaker jumping special. It might though be more useful in this single target damage department, but nonetheless I'm really liking these two new characters. I do just feel it's a little odd that Mondo Gecko, who's riding a skateboard, has lower mobility, lowest mobility characters. But I mean, it's a design choice, and overall his kit is still super fun. His design, I really like it. It feels like the real Mondo Gecko. It feels like the 1989 version of Mondo Gecko. And Mona Lisa, great design as well. Now, the only thing I wanted sort of to close this out on, which I said was maybe the one negative about this DLC, is that they came out with a physical digital anniversary edition of Shredder's Revenge that I bought a second time so that I would have both the base game and the DLC on the same cartridge. But now with the release of this DLC, I'm sort of back to square one. I don't have the full version on a cartridge. I do think that if they had future or more DLC planned, they could have sort of warned us before selling the anniversary edition, because I do think a lot of collectors, like I wanted to make sure that I had a physical version with all the DLC on the cartridge, and now I don't have that again. And honestly, I would have maybe not double dipped into the anniversary edition had I known that other DLC was coming out, and that maybe we'll even get a future edition with all the DLC. Who knows? But that's the only downside, I think, to all of this. And it's not even a downside towards the game. It's just like, if you're a collector, I think they should have let us known before they released that anniversary edition, where I think some people picked it up, like me, on a double dip to have the DLC included. Nonetheless, though, I'm super hyped to have these two new characters. I'd love to hear from all of you. Let me know in the comments down below, which one of these two characters did you prefer? What are you thinking about this new DLC? The soundtrack as well actually sounds pretty good. Like I said, it gives me more of a classic chiptunes feel than the first version of the soundtrack that came with the game, that did have remixed versions of the songs, but they sounded more like modern songs than chiptune. This one feels much more retro feeling to me. Now, as I promised before we go, I did check the price on the DLC, and it is only $3.99. You know what? This feels like a fair price for adding two new characters to the game. They could have gone for more. I'm really glad that they went for a budget price like this that just feels like a fair price. They're not overpricing this, trying to gouge us. It just feels fair for a new soundtrack, two new characters. It feels good. So that was pretty much what I wanted to cover for today. Like I said, let me know in the comments down below what you think of this new DLC. Don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. And as usual, I'll see all of you in my next video.